CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4, November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic, news, opinions and information. Additional information and announcements are available on the RAYNET UK website, which can be found at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you're instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately, please call in and out. Otherwise, if you wish to leave after subsequent turns, then please make it clear at that time that you'll be leaving. After I've heard a few check-ins, control will pause and repeat so I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, please do try again. If you miss your turn as we're calling in, I will call for strays at the end of the check-ins. I'll now begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET UK weekly activity net as usual in call sign order. So any stations with figure 8 in their call sign, please call in now. G4 and RC.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie. Name's Phil.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Name is Mike.
G4 NRC has got Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie Phil and Golf 8 Echo Yankee Mike. Any other 8s, please? G4 NRC, over. RC, nothing heard. Any 7s? Stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead now. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, Graham. Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar.
G4 NRC has got Graham, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, and Dave, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon. Any other 7s, over? G4 and RC, nothing heard, so stations figure 6 on their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
M6 RVR, name is Raj.
G4 NRC has got Raj, Mike 6 Romeo Victor Romeo. Good afternoon. Any other 6s, over? G4 and RC, nothing heard, so we'll go for 5. Stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. C, nothing heard, we've got a slack handful of 5s, so we'll go straight to 4s. Stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 4 Whiskey Quebec Bravo. Keith checking on after code plug update, but in and out T4WQB.
G4 and RC has got Golf 4 Whiskey Bravo, good afternoon, Keith. Glad your code plug update has worked and noticing you are in and out. Any other fours, please? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, no more fours. We'll go for threes. Stations figure 3. Figure 3 in that call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 3 Victor, Echo Hotel. Good afternoon, Greg. In and out for me. Chris in Winchester. Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray. Ian, in and out this week, Greg. Thank you.
Or RC has got Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel. Good afternoon, Chris. Copied you in and out. Just noting your 4% packet loss apparently on the Brandmeister side of the bridge. And Ian, Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray. Good afternoon to you. Also in and out. You were just 1% packet loss through to the Brandmeister side of the bridge. Any other threes, please? G4 and RC, over. Nothing heard, so we'll go for twos. Stations figure 2. Figure 2 in their call sign, please go ahead. And that includes your intermediates. G4 and RC, over. For an RC, second call for any stations figure 2. Figure 2 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. Nothing heard, so we'll go for the ones. Stations figure 1. Figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, second call. Any stations figure 1. Figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. G4 and RC, nothing, so we'll go to zeros, segregating as usual, and starting with the Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier. Please go ahead now, over.
Mike 0 Whiskey X-Ray Golf, Shirley in Cornwall, in and out. Thank you, Greg.
Mike 0 India Tango Mike. Andy with Shirley in Cornwall. In and out. Thank you, Greg. Mike 0 Mike Foxtrot Sierra Drew. In and out.
G4 and RC has got Mike 0 Whiskey X-Ray Golf. Good afternoon, Shirley. Mike 0 India Tango Mike. Good afternoon, Andy. Notes you two are both in and out and no problems with your signals. Mike 0 Mike Foxtrot Sierra. Good afternoon, Drew. Also notes you in and out. Brandmeister side of the bridge reported 23% packet loss for you, although you sounded reasonably okay on the RAYNET side. We can see you are active from Brandmeister. Any other Mike 0 stations, please, with any regional secondary identifier, over? And I see nothing heard, so we'll go for Golf 0 stations with any regional secondary identifier, please, over?
Golf Whiskey 0 Juliet Lima Andy. Andy, located in West Wales. No traffic this afternoon, Greg, so in and out. Thank you.
G4 and RC, so Andy, Golf Whiskey 0, Juliet Lima X-ray. Thank you, Andy. Copied you in and out. Any other Golf 0 stations of any regional secretary identifier, please, over. And RC, nothing heard. So we do have the UK stations and the UK stations who missed their turn to call in, who wish to call in now. Please do so. Any UK stations who missed your turn, please call now. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, no strays, so we'll go international. Any international liaison stations, usually Nord Sandband in Norway, Arran in Ireland. Please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, no international liaisons either. Okay. General warning to everybody, the net continues to be live streamed by Graham G7NEH onto YouTube as an experiment. Live stream and recording is available as always by searching G7NEH, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on youtube.com. And if you've got any comments about the presentation or things we could be doing differently, then please do make them on the YouTube comments for Graham's benefit. Today's a strange day, a somber one for more than a few reasons. Didn't really know how we were going to do that today. We will all mark the passing of Queen Elizabeth and pay our respects in our own and separate ways. And some of our own communities are following her example of carrying on by continuing their events today, while others have decided to cancel their events as a mark of respect. Many of us historically may have been involved in so-called royal events in the past and remember the security challenges they brought. Inevitably, and for the right reasons, any RAYNET groups who are active for Operation Unicorn in Scotland and Operation London Bridge more generally across the kingdom will be silent about their activities until they are completed to maintain operational security and ensuring Her Majesty's final journey is as smooth and trouble-free as possible. All members and groups involved, though, are absolutely thanked for their service in assisting these operations. America today will be marking the anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attack 21 years ago, which took the lives of 2,977 people. And when other countries and organisations have been generous in their condolences to our country in our loss, we will also recognise the civilians, emergency service workers and radiometers who died in that attack. There's very little by way of other news for today. There was nothing really came out of COM on Friday night, unless Mike reminds me that we could report as any progress. So by original plan, the Queen's State funeral would have been next Sunday, but by the slight shift in timing of Operation London Bridge, means it's now Monday 19th. So the only question in my mind for the net is whether or not we have a net next Sunday, since we would obviously not have done so if it's collided with the funeral. Other than that, we have a very short net today. Very few people actually checked in, and even fewer actually staying for the full cycle. So let's go around and see what comments we've got, starting with Phil. Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 and RC, over.
Yes, G4 NRC from Unit KLC. Market equal sign change. Absolutely 110% agree with everything you've just said. We're not expected to be involved in any shape or form. On the lighter side, I guess that's one of the benefits of a small group. But it was never us. Anyway, yeah, I tend to agree. I should be perhaps postponed. Yeah, that's about it. G4, NRC, G8, KLC.
P8 KLC, Chief for NRC. Yeah, Phil, interesting. It's one of these things you never know whether you're truly involved or not. Through the joys of Resilience Direct, I have seen that some constabularies up in the northwest have been very active, and there are daily planning meetings for everything they're having to coordinate. Having attended the proclamation in the city of Chester this afternoon, it's a fairly large police operation that's moving around, lots of private security, medical, etc. on as well. But Lancashire's been notable by, as one of the many, actually really revising this plan every 3 months. Everything is going pretty much to plan. But net, suggestion net postponed. Thanks for that. I'm not prejudging anything yet. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, out to you, Mike. G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8 EEY. Yes, I echo all your thoughts, Greg, in this rather sad period. Certainly all the LRF planned activities in Norfolk and Suffolk have been postponed, probably till November, so it's all gone quiet there. General information, 21 degrees C, 89% cloud cover, 60% relative humidity, 1,018 millibars, winds 5.4 miles per hour from 201 degrees. And I'm glad to see that doing an upgrade on my Pi-Star to 4.1.6 did not kill it last night. It's always good to know. From G8 EEY.
Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, Chief for NRC returning. Okay, yeah, we're going to have some knock-ons from this, aren't we? All LRF planned activities and Norfolk Suffolk's postponed is going to mean some fun as we clash your FloodX with Exercise Lima and other things. So those people that do have Resilience Direct access, would be worth keeping track of any last-minute changes. Copied all your data. I don't have Trevor marking my homework for me today, so I am operating and logging solo with the assistance of Graham, of course, who's running the stream. And we do actually seem to have my face out there, which is okay. Okay, thanks, Mike. Graham, G7 and EH. Down how many live viewers we've got today. G4 and RC, over. RC, calling G7 and EH, G7 and EH. Can you, Graham, over? G4 and RC, G7 and EH. Not quite sure what happened there. So, get a link established. I'll keep the BT3. Right, okay. Last week we had 23 views on the internet. This week currently we have had 9 with about 3 viewing. And yeah, any comments, anything like leave in the comment section. Any changes you'd like to see, as Greg said before. My thoughts on the net next week. I would probably go with postponing it as I would give a mark of respect. So there we go. Not a lot else from this end. So my feet G4 and RC, G7H. G7 and EH, G4 and RC. Okay, Graham. Right, interesting views. Mike will reinforce that there's a reasonable bit of discussion at COM on Friday. along with IT issues just before we get back around to Phil again. So yeah, we'll definitely need to develop that. I think we had comments last week about the confusion of different dashboards and watching them all wink into life and otherwise, but that's part of the reason we want to do the live streams, is that people can see the satellite delay and why I leave so many seconds to actually pick up a transmission. And notable, that started to go across into my analog operation as well, which can only be a good thing since we usually get accused of being a bit swift on the changeovers in analog terms, leaving nobody a chance to break in if there's any urgent traffic. Hey, next to Dave, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, G4 NRC, over.
G4 NRC, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone on that. Hope everyone is well in these times. Yes, I totally respect everything you've said, Greg. And I think Sunday is the official 10th day of mourning, and I agree wholly that perhaps for once the net is postponed in respect of Her Majesty. Not a great deal to add at this end. Perhaps have something else in the next time round. Back to you, Greg, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar.
Seven Alpha Victor Oscar, G4 NRC returning. Okay, Dave. Yeah, I'm bobbling my head trying to find something more upbeat for the second round, but it's going to be a challenge. I'm also mindful that after we've taken Raj's over, I will do a call if anybody has joined the net late. Otherwise, Raj is in the unenviable position, normally occupied by Alan and 0JSA, of being the last one to speak every week from the general net. So with that, over to you, Raj. Mike 6, Romeo Victor Romeo, G4 NRC, over.
M6 RVR. I think it'd be good to postpone the thing next week. I think as a sign of respect to the Queen. Got no other comments, but I think that's a good thing to postpone. M6 RVR back to control.
G4 NRC, okay. Pretty much sounds like that's unanimous from those here. I'll put something in the news for those who aren't on the net today. And it doesn't catch up with it on YouTube playback. So we'll put something in next Sunday's being postponed because it's just a little bit too close. And yeah, I mentally had already started planning with the London Bridge D+10 being a Sunday funeral, so I decided it was too late in the day to actually call that D0. Then obviously the day's delay is understandable for those who are trying to marshal such an enormous organisation and operation for the 19th. Okay, before I think of anything else, are there any other members wishing to join the net? This is G4NRC, over.
G4NRZ, MI0, MSO.
Zero, Mike Sierra Oscar. Good afternoon, Philip. How long have you been listening for, and if you've got any comments? Mike India Zero, Mike Sierra Oscar, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, MI0, MSO. Just about 5 minutes, Greg. Just about 5 minutes. I was out and listened to the GBTRS news and Brandmeister 12 o'clock, and I thought, oh, I'm not doing this really once the RAYNET news this afternoon, but I had to go out. So I missed the start. So I'm just checking, and haven't checked in a while, but I keep saying I must do it more often. So just listening, Greg, over.
India 0 Mike Sierra Oscar G4 NRC. Okay, look, no problem. I think you've just clarified for me the question I have in mind for when you call in from Northern Ireland, whether you're calling in through Pheonix or Brandmeister. So guessing it's Brandmeister. I only see what we get through is on the Brandmeister bridge, so the two networks appear as one on the dashboards. Okay, your bits missed have probably only been the nature of the events of the last few days, and the general question was whether or not we postpone the net or cancel the net next Sunday, just as a mark of respect, since it would have been the Queen's funeral if Operation London Bridge had gone strictly to plan, but since it's the Monday, it is a bit close, and we are slightly down. Well, slightly down. We're quite a bit down on numbers checking in today and participating, presumably because they're watching the outturn of Operation Unicorn in Scotland. His Majesty moves to Lion State in Holyrood House. So that's where we're at with that one. But good to hear you. Nice to hear the links are all working. For the second round, especially since Guy's not on, little admission, we had a server outage last night of probably about 15 minutes or so. He was on it, Guy was on it fairly quickly. It was a change of router, which decided to lose the routing tables. All our data was going with the right order, just to the wrong place. So once we got the alarms up from the linked networks like Fusion that we dropped connection, then a guy was on it and it was fixed and beaten back into submission fairly quickly. It does equally reinforce the reason for having the central server is to get us all together and all our different models around the use of DMR activity. Also, it means we've got consistent talk groups and numbering we can use, even if it's simplex or even if we're using local DMR repeaters set up under talk-through permits as required. So that was the service announcement. If Guy had been on, I might have pushed that one a little harder for the reason why, but that was the explanation yesterday. Okay, I think it's round for finals after a short and rather subdued net. But as a logger, I'm actually finding it quite easy to do today. G8 KLC, round to you, Phil. G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G8 KLC. Thanks so much, Craig. Yeah, nothing to add on. Wasn't aware there was a comp last Friday. Well, I suspect it didn't last very long. Yeah, I'll put my brain in gear and drop you an email within the next couple of weeks, I suspect. G4 NRC, G8 KLC.
G8 KLC, G4 NRC. Well, I wish you could concur with it. It wasn't a long meeting. It was 2 hours Friday night while everything else was going on. So, yeah, 2 hours on Friday night was the length of the com meeting, but you're not the first one to observe, as I missed that we hadn't actually put an announcement out in the news beforehand. So, by sheer chance, Mike G8EY is next. So, Mike, we need to somehow remember how to get that done and make sure the appropriate announcement's made for forthcoming meetings so people know what's coming. I think fast enough. The next com meeting, though, if you really want to put these things in your diaries, is Monday the 10th. Monday the 10th at 8 o'clock. So that's the next com meeting, and we are still seeking nominations for the RAYNET Cup, which will be one of the focuses of that meeting. So thanks for that job, I feel, in more ways than one. G8EY next, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Yes, I must admit, I hadn't noticed that we hadn't put anything out about the com meeting. Yep, I can confirm that Monday the 10th of October is the next meeting. And the only good thing at the moment is, certainly over here, we've had over a week of fairly steady rain quite a lot of the days, which is a good thing, I think. From G8EEY.
Played Echo Echo Yankee G for NRC returning. Okay, yes, yeah, rain wasn't that good for me. I've had a HF antenna failure. For the benefit of those on camera, if I've got it placed about right, that's an N-type socket that just fell off my coax. I pulled on the associated lead and the whole socket just came away, broke the braid and the sensor in one shot. So I need to get out and do some antenna work. But the variable weather hasn't helped that, and it's the mission for After the Net today to get the antenna fixed. As our weather goes to rain, which is deemed to be good for our droughts and fire risks, recall that hurricane season is still in force across on the other side of the pond. They are tracking an active hurricane heading towards America as we speak. But there are also some that don't quite make it. And one of the tropical storm areas that usually develops by the Azores has spun back and head towards Europe rather than going across to America. So we could get quite a bit of foul weather with second-hand hurricanes and even first-hand ones if they come to us first. So let's be a little careful what we wish for in the weather stakes. G7NEH, over to you, Graham. G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G7NEH, returning. Right, okay. So, our current views on the stream are 5 people that are currently watching, and the total of views is 11 today. So that's quite good. And thanks to all that are making use of it. Okay, on next week, what I will probably do, what I will do actually, is that I will record a quick short video, and probably I'll put it out on Sunday, just so people know the net is not people that may not be watching today and who may not be radio amateurs. So I will do that, and I will see in the news, and it'll be marked on the Facebook groups, etc. So there we go. Nothing else from me really. So yeah. G4RC, G7NEH.
G7NEH, G4 and RC returning. Okay, go. Yes, a test card, short form, net postponed would be an excellent idea. Just shows that why we weren't there, not that we just gave up, which would be the right thing. I have just checked one item, and I need to read it more before we try and slip this one into Wednesday's collation of the news for next Friday, but I'll do that at the very end before I close the net, just because it may be of interest to some other people on here. But next to Dave, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Yes, antenna plug. That's a strange happening. You've got so much to do between showers, and I've just looked out the window here in Castle Bedford, like yourself. We're not doing too bad at the moment, but I have excellent opportunities at the moment because the house is adjoined in scaffolding. So any antenna work I need to do, because all mine are actually disconnected at the moment because of the work, the coaxes all taken off. So I've got that opportunity, any tinkering I need to do at the moment. But not a great deal to have this end. I'm just wondering if when you finish the net, if you can give us a quick call on the mobile, if that's okay. I just wanted to pick your brains over something else. Back to you, Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
M7AVO, G's for an RC. Yes, will do, Dave. Yeah, if the weather's good with you at height, then it'll hopefully stay good with me down a little bit lower than you. While I'm sat cross-legged in the hopefully not rain, just gloominess, trying to put not one but two crimp connectors on to deal with new antenna and fixing the absence of a socket outside anymore. Okay, final from Raj then, please. Mike 6, Romeo Victor Romeo, G for an RC, over.
6 RVR returning. Yeah, not too bad weather-wise here. The only news I have is our last controls shut down, and we have a new controller starting this month. So it should lead to some good training and things like that. But nothing else from me. Back to net control. M6 RVR.
Mike 6, Romeo Victor Romeo, G for an RC. Okay, thanks, Raj. Not my zone, so I won't have seen the changes, but hopefully that change is reflected on the national website. As the controller stood down, a new one took over, that we have all the contacts going to the right people. That has happened a couple of times in the past where roles have changed, and we have had people still getting hounded with, "You're the controller." No, I'm not. Kind of conversations for weeks afterwards until we've been told nationally and have done what could have been done locally. So, okay, thanks for that. As I say, see if your new controller brings something new for training. Okay, the final of the net before I do a little bit of 23 SAMS news, which is out today, is Philip, Mike India 0, Mike Sierra Oscar, G for NRC, over.
D4 NRC, MI0 MSO. Not much to add, just answer your query earlier. I'm going through a Brandmeister MMDVM repeater, just about 10 miles outside the town here in GB7WT, and I have this talk group set as static for the time period of this net, which I set it that way, but I don't always get the chance to call in. But I must, coming into the autumn now, I wonder I might have more time on Sunday afternoon to check in, but that's all from here, Greg, over.
Mike in 0, Mike Sierra Oscar, G for an RC returning. Okay, yeah, Brandmeister's, thanks for the confirmation. And setting a talk group as static is something that I think normally Alan M0 JSA would love to happen on some of his repeaters across in Norfolk, that this talk group struggles when it's dynamically called up versus the more active national and international groups. Just a heads up for people before I close the net, watch the RSGB website or go and have a look at www.iaaru-r1.org for the latest news about 23 centimetres and the agenda item for the World Radio Conference next year, where amateur use of 23 centimetres is getting considerable stick from the radio navigation satellite service, better known as GPS or Galileo, because of interference from our strong amateur signals to the rather weaker navigation signals. There's some work being put around about how we can coexist, because our actual usage of 23 SAMS is not as broad as people might think, but that could also be a bad thing. If we say we're not using it very often, then why do we need the band at all? 23 SEMS is useful to a lot of groups who use it for tunnel comms and things like that. So for those who are interested in the 23 SEMS activities, it was passed out by ARU Regional 1. It made it onto the RSGB Spectrum Forum in the last 24 hours or so, and I've just sprung my head again that I needed to draw it to yours attention that we do make sure we don't lose that band, the power levels we might be interested in for emergency use. So just hold that thought and read those news items. But we just take a pause, then I can do the closure. This is G4NRC. With that, I'll close the net. Dave, just give me a couple of minutes to close the log up, and then I'll give you that phone call. And I will thank everybody who's taken time out of their schedules to participate this afternoon. Be careful, have a good week, and not next Sunday, but a week on Sunday at 1600 hours, we will return to having our DMR activity periods. But for now, I will close the net and return the network to an open net rather than a directed one. 730 all, this is G4NRC now closing and returning to my normal call sign of Golf 0.